Hey everyone, Prabir here, and at the end of the year we always look back at all the big science stories that happen. No doubt you've heard a lot about climate change, our return to the moon, and the James Webb Space Telescope, but there were a lot more science stories that happened all year long. So without further ado, here is my top 5 deep cuts of the year 2022. Number 5, intentional cooking. Evidence of circumstantial cooking dates back to 1.5 million years ago and is attributed to our ancient relatives Homo erectus. Our specific species, Homo sapien, also has left evidence of cooking that dates back 170,000 years ago. But a new discovery made along the Dead Sea is now pushing the cooking timeline back to 780,000 years ago. An X-ray analysis of some crystals found on some freshwater fish is hinting at the fact that these may have been warmed at around 200 to 500 degrees Fahrenheit as a controlled burn. This rules out the possibility of it being a random fire which would burn at a much hotter temperature. Now, this hypothesis still needs a lot more research and work, but they're building a pretty good case here, and this might very well be the earliest evidence of intentionally cooked food here on Earth. Number 4, the Octopus. A 330 million year old fossil made huge news. 330 million years ago predates the dinosaurs, people! Also, this fossil was a big deal because it had 10 arms, meaning it was capable of giving 10 tickles. Rare fossils like these help scientists better understand the evolution and story of the creatures that we have today. These fossils also help put more knowledge about cephalopods within arm's reach. Number 3, the Uncanny Valley. In 1978, the term the Uncanny Valley was coined as a means of measuring our emotional response towards human-like objects. Basically, it's an XY graph that tracks our emotional response to other objects and how human-like they might be. Our emotional responses are low for things like toasters or a Roomba, and they rise a little bit for characters like WALL-E or C-3PO. But then they dip suddenly when we encounter unhealthy humanoid-looking things like zombies or corpses or even some CGI characters. That dip is the valley, the Uncanny Valley. And as these robots become more human-like, our emotional response comes out of that valley. We have then come out of the Uncanny Valley. But now we might be mistaking robots and other non-human objects for healthy human beings. So are we there yet? Can we mistake non-humans for humans? Well, according to a research paper that was published this year, the answer is yes. In a study conducted, not only did some AI-generated faces seem to be believable as humans, but they were also deemed more trustworthy than normal human beings. This technology can be used for entertainment and education, but also can manipulate and deceive. Stay tuned as this technology and our emotional responses progress together. Number 2, music and pain. This year we saw direct evidence of the fact that a Kate Bush song can actively prevent you from getting hurt in the upside down. Okay, it works well in fiction, but in real life, can music prevent you from feeling pain? In 2022, researchers looked at the relationship between music and sound and how the brain processes pain. To study these impacts, they exposed mice with inflamed paws to 3 types of sounds. 1, a beautiful orchestral symphony. Second, the same kind of music but reorganized in a weird way. And then the third was just white noise. Well, it turns out that when any of these options were delivered at a low volume, about that of a whisper, the mice actually experienced a reduction of pain. Then the mouse's brain was further analyzed, where researchers noticed a relationship between the auditory cortex, the part of the brain that processes sound, and the thalamus, the sensory hub of the brain. Here they noticed that the pain reduction effects could be seen at the thalamus when the subject was given low volumes of music. So does this mean we can gently apply some Kate Bush songs to us to prevent feeling pain? Not quite yet. But this does open the door to more research and to see if this process even translates to the human brain. But just in case, you may want to have that Kate Bush song around. It worked pretty well in Stranger Things. And finally, number 1, living buildings. As our population continues to grow, we will need more and more places to put all these people. Residential development is not only expensive, but oftentimes is very environmentally destructive. So how do we balance the need for more places to live with an eco-conscious new solution? One potential idea? Living buildings! So what is a living building? Well, there are a few requirements here. First, it must be energy and water positive, meaning it uses less than it puts back out into the community. Its location matters, it uses sustainable materials, it's equitable for its residents, and it has aesthetic value. The 58,000 square foot PAE building in Portland, Oregon is a great example of a living building. But much closer to us, right here in Richmond, Virginia, plans have been announced for a new living building that is 5 times larger than the one in Portland and will be the world's largest living building. This low and wide building will have ample room for urban agriculture, solar panels, rainwater collection, and will also have an on-site wastewater management system to prevent additional stress to the region's sewer system. There you go, living buildings, a modern, eco-friendly, and beautiful place to call home. Now, who you live with, that's up to you completely. So there you go, folks. Intentional cooking, bridging the uncanny valley, ancient octopus species, music in the brain, and living buildings. A pretty phenomenal year for science. Thank you for tuning in all year round. We love spreading these science stories with you, and we look forward to doing it next year. From all of us to all of you, have a safe and wonderful new year. We'll see you in 2023.